The Mammotion Luba 2 is the next generation of wireless robot lawnmowers that don't require you to have a perimeter wire installed around your yard. Instead, it uses GPS and a bunch of other sensors. This not only makes it easy to set up, but also gives it pinpoint accuracy in your yard, so you always get a perfect mow and no missed spots. At first I was skeptical. I thought I would have to babysit this mower, thinking it would constantly be getting stuck, getting confused, missing spots, but due to its four-wheel drive system, which has a motor in each wheel, and grippy tires, it easily found a way to navigate my yard and never got stuck or confused. And if you do want to see the progress of the mower, you can either use the app or you can even check in on the mower using its first-person camera and see what it's up to. This is great if you want to see what the mower is doing, even if you're not home. When Mammotion reached out to me to review this mower, even they seemed surprised at how excited I was to try out this mower. The Luba 2 helped me eliminate something which I don't really like doing, which is mowing the lawn. Now I have time for things that I actually love to do, like riding e-bikes or standing back and watching my robot lawnmower work on my yard. Mammotion did send me the Luba 2 for free, but I'm unrestricted in terms of what I can and can't say about it and my experience with the Luba 2. So there are lots of reasons to get a Mammotion Luba 2. First, it's going to give you perfectly straight lines in your yard, almost like a robot made them. Second, it's going to save you a lot of time and energy, so you don't come home exhausted after hours of mowing the lawn in the summer heat. Now all I have to do is the edging around my yard, which only takes a few minutes, and now I have lots of time to do other things that I actually want to do. Let's talk about the setup for this mower. The Luba 2 comes in a neatly packaged box with everything you need to get started.
Laura, what is this thing? What's all this stuff?
Once you put on the front bumper, the vision module, and insert the security key, assembly is complete. From there, all you need is a mostly flat, obstacle-free area to put your charging station. I put my RTK reference station in the slot of the charging pad, but you can put it somewhere else as long as it has a clear and unobstructed view of the sky. And if you can't find a good spot in your yard, you can always use the optional wall mount accessory to make sure the RTK reference station has a clear view of the sky. When you get your Luba 2, you'll likely need some software updates, which is all done through the app over the air. Make sure the Luba 2 has access to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi during this process. Some updates did take a long time to download, but once they're all set, you're ready for the next step. So like I said earlier, instead of needing a wire to map out the perimeter of your yard, the Luba 2 uses a programmed route. Once you drive around the perimeter of where you want the Luba 2 to mow and mark it down with no-go zones to leave out certain areas within that perimeter, like flower beds and other areas you don't want it to go over, you're mostly done. If you need to connect multiple work areas together, you can use what are called channels, which are pathways the Luba 2 will follow, connecting certain work areas together. For example, you might make a channel so the Luba 2 knows how to get from your backyard to the front yard. One cool thing I can do with the app is if the Luba 2 is ready to use a channel and go in my front yard, it'll wait at the fence, tell me something is in front of it, blocking the channel. I'll just walk outside, open the fence, and press the continue button, and the mower will continue on working. This way I can keep the fence closed while it's working up front. Let's talk about the Luba 2 and how it avoids objects. The Luba 2 uses its own sensors and its own front bumper to detect objects in front of it so it can avoid them while working on your yard, but it will not detect small things like toys or maybe a hose that's laying in your yard, so make sure you move those out of the way before the Luba 2 gets to work. It's okay. Looks like it's fine. If you have a dog and they like to spend time in your yard, make sure you pick up the excrement, because my Luba 2 happily rolled right over them, and you'll potentially have some unpleasant smelling substances stuck in the wheels of the Luba 2. There are a few different models of the Luba 2 you can buy. Basically, if you want a longer cut in your grass, between 2.2 to 4 inches, buy the H model. Otherwise, for shorter cutting, the standard model will do, which will give you a cut of 1 to 2.7 inches. And within those two categories, you have models that can cut between a quarter acre all the way up to 2.5 acres. The all-wheel drive system, combined with the power of those 4 motors and the unique design of the front wheels, allows the Luba 2 to make tight turns and traverse all types of tough terrain. I've used the Luba 2 several times now, and it has not once gotten stuck in my yard, even in awkward angled and tight areas of my yard. The Luba 2 is also on the heavier side, which helps keep it stable while mowing your yard. The Luba 2 can sense if it's picked up or rolled over. It actually gives you an audible warning knowing when it's been picked up or if it's rolled over. If one of those two things happens, it will automatically stop the cutting rotors. Like I said, it has sensors and a front bumper, so it knows when something is in its way, and it'll do its best to avoid that object and continue on mowing your yard. Later on, it'll backtrack to the spot it missed and make sure that grass is cut. On top of the mower is a big red stop button, which is fantastic for safety. In case you ever need to shut the mower down, just press that button and immediately the cutting blades will stop. This mower is so quiet, you could probably use it in the middle of the night and nobody would even know. Just be aware that the Luba 2's vision module doesn't really work well at night, so it's going to have to rely more on GPS for navigation. I don't know if you guys noticed it in the background, but it's actually running right now, mowing my yard, doing its thing. And I bet you can't hear a thing in this video. Normal gas-powered mowers are insanely loud, and most electric mowers are much quieter than those. But this brings it down to a whole new level of quiet. If I was inside and nobody told me the Luba 2 is mowing my yard, I would have no idea it was working. So what happens if your Luba 2 runs out of battery in the middle of a job? Well, what it's going to do is drive itself back to the charging port,
Start charging.
charge itself up, and then when it's ready, it's going to go back and continue where it left off to make sure it finishes the job. It also has rain sensors, so if it detects that it starts raining, it's going to immediately go back to the charger and wait till the weather clears up and continue mowing your yard. Before running the Luba 2 for the first time, I let my grass grow out pretty tall to make sure I can really test this mower and see how well it cuts tall grass. And to my surprise, it mowed right through that tall grass with no issues at all. The Luba 2 is designed to be used frequently throughout the week. I like to run it at least twice a week, so if you do end up using it through tall grass, you will be left with some very long grass clippings. It's not really designed to mulch grass, it's only going to slice them and then leave it on your yard. So when you do use it often throughout the week, your grass clippings end up being very small and barely noticeable. You can set the mower to run automatically throughout the week, but what I personally like to do is just run the mower through the app to make sure I know what's going on in my backyard. The cut quality is much better than I expected. The suspension in the front helps keep the cutting deck level, and the lines that this mower puts in my yard are so precise, it's almost as if a robot mowed my lawn. The Luba 2 features 2 cutting discs and gives you a total of 8 razor-sharp cutting blades. You also get an extra set of cutting blades in the box. You can get the optional garage covering for the Luba 2, which will help keep it protected from the rain and sun, but it already has a water resistance rating of IPX6, which will pretty much protect it from the rain. Even without the garage covering, you'll probably be okay. I've had my Luba 2 in the rain multiple times and it still works perfectly. So what if someone steals your Luba 2? Every Luba 2 comes with GPS tracking so you can easily locate where it is. On top of that, your Luba 2 is paired with your specific phone app, so some random person can't just start using it. And don't forget, you can always use something like an AirTag as a secondary way of tracking where your Luba 2 is. Maintenance is very easy. Besides wiping it down underneath and occasionally checking to see if anything's stuck around the blades, there's barely any maintenance. To replace the blades, all you need is a screwdriver. Although the Luba 2 can withstand being hosed down, I like to use a lightly damp rag to make sure the sensors and the mower are both clean. Things that I would like to see updated. When the Luba 2 is done making the most perfect straight lines in my yard, it likes to do this funny thing where it completely cuts through the center diagonally and leaves an unsightly path directly in the middle of my yard. It does this right before it starts mowing the perimeter of the yard. I think Mammotion could probably reprogram it to make sure it doesn't do that. Final thoughts. I never thought I'd be reviewing an electric lawnmower on this channel, much less a robotic one. But just like this channel kind of started by accident, it was one of the best things that I never expected would happen. Now I can spend time doing other things that I love instead of slaving away under the sun mowing my lawn. Or I can also work side by side with the Mammotion Luba 2. It mows the main yard while I do the edging. I am so happy to have had the chance to review this product, and I will definitely continue to use it in this yard and maybe even larger yards in the future. I don't even know what to do with my normal electric push mower. I'm hesitant to part ways with it, but seeing how good of a job the Luba 2 does, I think the decision is going to be easy pretty soon. Let me know what you guys think of the Luba 2 in the comments below. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description below to Mammotion's website. Using that link to purchase something from the website will help this channel at no extra cost to you, and it'll also help me continue to make reviews like this in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.